we will go with it. Okay, so we began the year training some of our mentors and team members to be well equipped to lead our organization. And then we also were able to add 2 new team members to the team. Desmond joined us this year, as I mentioned. We also got a graphic designer, Aram. He's also going to join us later, and we may introduce him when he comes. We also got him, joining us. So the team increased this year. One of the biggest achievements that we can actually talk about today as a success in 2021 is an initiative we launched this year called the Explore Initiative. And I'm sure most of you here were part, or in one way or the other, benefited or were part of that program. So with the Explore Initiative, the agenda was to be able to connect with academic departments in universities to provide mentoring or mentorship programs that were targeted at specific disciplines. And so we were able to have 3 big events with the mathematics students, society at the University of Ghana. And, as usual, we normally would work with one academic department, but then we get a lot of others connecting with us. And so we work with TMS. We got over 100, about 150, participants joining us. The second program we had was with the Food Science and Nutrition Department of the University of Ghana and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. All of this were in Ghana, but as usual, we also got a lot of participants joining us from, across the sub-region. And then the last event we had was with the Economics Department of the University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana. And then as usual, we had Dr. Silla and a couple of her team joining us from Ethiopia. We got participants from Lesotho and all across the place. And so the Explore Initiative was a very big part of the success story that we saw this year. All through these programs, MeetMentors was able to impact over 650 young talents across the continent. And so we are very grateful to God, but also to the team and everyone who has been part of what we do. Going into 2022, we are working on bringing more innovative and impactful mentoring, programs to reach young people across the continent. Our passion and our vision as an organization is to be able to provide mentorship to support the academic, career, leadership, and talent development of African youth. And so we strive as an organization to provide this. And as I said, in 2022, we will be bringing more innovative ways of impacting people. We will change some of the things that we do to be more effective, but some of them would also be maintained. And so I would encourage all of you to connect with us. We are very active on social media, Facebook especially, and LinkedIn. We will be launching, our Instagram, page also in the coming year as well. And so please connect with us and so that you can know what we have to offer. But the bottom line is we are dedicated and committed to pursuing the vision we have, which is to be able to impact the young talents across Africa. And so I will pause here since the speakers are ready. I don't want to take a lot of the time, but once again, thank you very much for joining us today. And I believe by the time you leave, you will definitely be impacted by what our speakers have to give us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Okay, so we'll head on to our speakers for the day. So our first speaker is Dr. James Luther. I will allow him to do his own introduction, but I just wanted to give a little bit preview of who he is. So Dr. Luther is the managing partner of Immigration and Law Group, and it's affiliated Migrate to Canada Group as well. So he's going to be speaking to us today about the role of mentoring in talent development. So I'll let Dr. Luther go ahead and introduce himself and then get into his session for today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Angela. I'm not sure everyone is hearing me, but I hope you are. I'm very happy to be here to present on this simple topic, actually, Like Angela said, I am Dr. James Luther. I am actually a doctor at law. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm going to try to make this session as unacademic as possible, because it is, honestly, it's a very, very simple topic, but it has a lot of misconceptions. And as young people, we need you to understand what exactly is talent. Before you said there is talent development, what is talent? Okay, and then what is talent development? Yes, and then we shall consequently talk about the role of mentors. So I'm very privileged to be here, to be in the company of speakers like Olivia, Chamba, Reginald, Taxon, and obviously I'm very grateful for George inviting me. George is a personal friend, and we had this dream of his, and we talked about it a while ago when I was beginning it. So to see it come to fruition is such a good thing. Anyway, back to what is most important, talent development. We need for the youth to understand, first of all, what is talent, because very often we misconceive what talent is. We often believe talent is what we end up doing professionally. And actually, that's not what it is. Talent is your natural aptitude or skill, your God-given gift. And how do you nurture that? And how do you develop it? All right? So we need to distinguish from your career, which could be what you're good at, but also what your natural gift is and skill set. And we're going to talk about the natural skill set. Talent development basically are efforts that you as a person take to foster learning, engagement, and progress to drive this natural ambition of yours or natural aptitude or skill. And how far you go to accomplish that depends largely, not completely, but largely on people who you call your mentors. Now, I'm hoping that if you've understood that, then I would try also to explain what mentors are. Because very often when we talk about mentors, we think there are men in suits and ties like George, and there are people who are, possibly your bosses or whoever it is. Mentors are actually three different sets of people. And if you don't understand who mentors are, then you miss out on two of the biggest essential mentors in life. Okay? So the first mentor is actually your peers, people around you. Now, how are these people developing their talent? And remember, I told you talent is not what you do for a living. Talent is what skills, natural skills do you have? So those people you've gone to school with, and they're the ones who are excelling as sportsmen, they're the ones who are excelling as singers, they're the ones who are excelling as leaders in the school. How do they become the leaders they are? How do they become the people that excel above everyone else? Those are the most essential mentors you should have, that they are people like you, same age, same bracket, same challenges, and yet they're kind of going out and accomplishing all these things, okay? How do they do it? So those are the people you have to put your eye on first before you look at, what you think are mentors actually, because you learn a lot from their ambition, from their drive, from how they push themselves, all right? Now, other than those peers, you also have to look at your immediate and distant family. Very, very important, because as we know, as we grow up, first of all, we look up to our parents, our father and mother, all right? What are you picking up from them? Why is it that, most of the famous footballers have children who are footballers? Most of people who sing have kids who are singing or are playing an instrument. It's because they pick onto these mentors who are immediate family members, be it fathers, brothers, sisters, aunties, uncles, distant relatives, and they look up to them. They look up to what they have accomplished, not in terms of career again, but in terms of how they got to where they have got, be it career, be it any other skill set that they have. So there is a need for youth today to have a keen look at those people, but not at all of them as well, okay? Because the word mentoring is someone you aspire to and someone who inspires you to get to a level that you want to get to. So we all have those people in the family that we look at and say, these people accomplished something, right? So those are people you're supposed to look at and see their journey. I'm a lawyer. I can tell you many things I do. I'm a lawyer. I write, I lecture. I'm into tourism. I do several things. But the one person who taught me the art of being a person who can be multiple skilled was my mother, actually. It was my mother. And at the age of 40, this woman couldn't speak English. She didn't have any education, and she moved us to Britain and started from nothing. And now near retirement, she possibly owns everything she wants in life, and she speaks eloquent English, and she writes, and she, owns multiple businesses. It took a lot of effort carrying so many kids to a foreign country and doing that. Now, ideally, that wouldn't be a typical mentor to most people, right? But you have those people close to you that whose journey, if you follow very closely, they actually inspire you to develop your natural talents, all right? Now, then we go to the third mentors that everyone knows about, but that don't really have a lot to do with talent. Those are people, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, you want to talk to a doctor, you want to talk to a lawyer, you want to talk to someone to inspire you, right? Those are career guidance colleagues. So you look up to their career guidance role models, but they can double as mentors, okay? Because they help you follow your career path, whichever reason you got to it. If I asked everyone here, how did you become what you became? I think ideally 70% will tell us that, life happened. It's not what they wanted to become, but they're there. And if they're there, they have to continue and build a career there. So those are career role models. You can take them as mentors, and their role alongside your peers and alongside your immediate, family members that you're looking up to or extended family, play a very, very important role in your talent development. Now, our biggest challenge is not that we don't have talent. All of us have one talent or two or three. Like we said, it is a natural aptitude or skill. So all of us have talents. The issue is, the challenge is, do you get an opportunity to enhance your talent rather, okay? So the opportunities largely come from mentors, and the role they do is very, very essential. Firstly, they improve your talent proficiency because you look up to someone who is accomplishing things you want to accomplish, because you look up to someone who is doing something you're naturally skilled at doing. This motivates you to try to emulate them, first of all, and then to even be better than them. And we are blessed to be in a time where every other year things keep developing for the better. So for instance, sports people, the fitness levels of sports people now are possibly twice the skill levels of sports people 40 years ago, because better maintenance, better feeding, better everything else. So the presumption is that these mentors that we have improve our talent and increase our talent credibility because we've sought them and we've come through what they've told us, but consequently we aim to do better than them because we should be doing better than them anyway, because we've got an opportunity to see what they did to get where they got, and we can use that, but then we have a whole life ahead of us to actually improve on that, right? Mentors are also very important in developing self-awareness, because you see, when you have a talent and you want to improve it, if you're going to look at a mentor, they're going to show you how far you have to go, what bar you have to set. Hopefully you're going to set a bar that is above what your mentor is, all right? They help us be self-aware, but that also makes them self-aware as well. So it's a back and forth that as they tell you about how to get to where they are, they're also self-evaluating themselves and they're recalling what they went through and how they can improve themselves. So that serves a dual purpose in that mentors learn from mentees and mentees learn from mentors. The most important thing is that the role of mentors is that they produce a better future for us. They have laid foundations, they have improved what we didn't think could be achievable, and they mentor us to even get better and sustain things that otherwise, without mentorship advice or guidance, would have been extinct. So it's a very, very important role. But for us to understand and to benefit from mentorship, like I said at the beginning, we have to understand, first of all, what it is and who are the mentors. And we need to stop looking at just career mentors, but look at, skills mentors, because talent is about your skills, right? I think Richard Branson said that wealth is not made by working a 9-to-5 job, pretty much. It is about what you do outside your work environment. So while your work is very important for the basics for you to sustain yourself in life, we all have those things that we are passionate about inherently in us. And for us to enhance them, to make sure that we utilize them very well, mentorship is very important, but we need to understand who our mentors are, because very often we wait until we become adults in the work industry, yet we've had mentors all our lives, right? From when we were born, to when we go to school, to our workplaces, to the mentors we look up to. And if we understand and appreciate that role very well, then I think we shall be on a very good stepping stone to greatness. I always like giving a quick quote before I end my speech, and Marianne Williamson's poem really impresses me a lot. She says very, very quickly that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. Okay? All of us have that light within us. We have that burning desire to excel. We have those things we are inherently passionate about that we know we could be good at. All right? Now, how do we light that fire? We light that fire strongly and very majorly through the people we look up to, through our parents, through our family, through our friends. And we need to start utilizing all those resources to ensure that we get this very, very clearly, because we are at an age where we need to be rising up to greatness. And it begins with us. So talent development begins with every single one of us. It begins with identifying what our talents are. There are many, and trying our best to enhance them as much as we can. Now, the law of averages by all means works in this instance. How successful someone is depends on how strongly they want something and how often they try to accomplish it. All right? The easiest thing in life to do is to give up, because it requires no effort. No effort at all. But when you want something so badly, and when you know what your inherent gifting is, which is a talent, then you must live a lifetime of trying to achieve it. And when I say the law of averages, it means how many people have you reached out to, how many people have you looked up to enhance your understanding of the skill set that you have naturally. Okay? And that doesn't mean that you have to always just give them an informational interview, call them for an informational interview like they tell you. No. It means that you have to read about them. We live in a very beautiful age where you can look at their social media pages, follow them, see what they're doing, see how they're keeping fit, see how they're accomplishing things step by step. So we have no excuse. We are blessed with a lot of natural aptitude and skill sets. We now know, I hope, or if we didn't before, that the level of mentorship is way wider than we think. That it comes from even the next person to us, all the way to the person we think we aspire to be. Okay, so let us utilize these resources. Let us reach out. Let us be ambitious. And let us use the light that's within us to accomplish greatness. I thank you very much for your time. I've tried to make it short and sweet so that I can ease you into this interesting day, and I'll be welcoming questions later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Luther. This is information that is extremely impactful for us, especially as we're looking to grow, right? And some of the things that Dr. Luther just mentioned, just being identifying your passion and knowing who or what anybody and everybody could be potentially a mentor, right? Depending on what you're looking to do. So if you have any questions for Dr. Luther, we can take them now or we can take them in a little bit. But if anybody has any question, you can put them in the chat as well, and we'll make sure that Dr. Luther gets them so we can have them answered. In the meantime, we'd like to move on to our second speaker for today. So our second speaker is Ms. Olivia Chamba. So Ms. Olivia is already with us here. Thank you so much for being here. So again, I'm going to allow her to do a little bit of introduction of herself, but just a little bit preview. She is the public policy manager at Facebook. She's led and contributed to extensive research work, designed and implemented advocacy and campaign strategies to achieve change with organizations such as the African Commission on Human Rights, Human and People's Rights, Amnesty International, Frontline Defenders, and a Pan-African Trust Africa. This is an extensive experience, and we're very lucky to have you here with us today. So I'll let you go ahead and get into your session for today.
Great. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry, I'm trying to share my screen here. But yeah, thanks a lot for giving me the floor. By way of introduction, I think you've already said it. I'm Olivia Chamba. So if you allow me, I would just share my presentation before we can move forward. Sorry. Well, seems like apologies for this delay. Seems there's some issues, technical issues here. Okay, let me try again. Yeah, I'm having some slight difficulties here, but let's say I will just move on. And,
Angie, can I just come in a bit? Whilst Olivia
Yes.
works on getting PowerPoints on, James is going to be leaving in the next few minutes. So I want to say if anybody has a question or something before he leaves, because by the time Olivia will be done, James is not going to be around. So we don't want him to go with anybody's answers. So whilst Olivia works on that, if anybody has a question for James or in relation to what James presented, please, you can ask now because he's going to be leaving. He has other appointments to commit to. So just to clarify that portion, he's not going to be here. At the latter part, when we have the breakout rooms for further discussion, he's not going to be here. So if you have any question, please, you can go ahead and do that. And if nobody has one, I think I have one for James. And Mike probably will bring out a couple of others. So James, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, George, yes.
James, my question to you, well, I've known you for, for some time, we are friends. And so I know you are a very multi-talented person. You do many things. You are a lawyer, you are a writer, you are a speaker, you teach, you do many things. when in your presentation, you talked about trying to differentiate between talent and career. And I know that is something we really love to dig into here at MeetMentors. Will you be able to help maybe me and a couple of others here know how personally you were able to do that? As I said, I know you do so many great things. Which one would you consider as a talent necessarily, and which would you consider as a career? And my question may look quite simple, but how does someone draw the line as you go to school, as you move on, you look for opportunities in life to be successful, to pursue your dream? How is it possible to be able to differentiate between pursuing your talent and pursuing a career? Can the two come together? Can they not come together? How is that possible? And if you could share some of your own experiences, that would help.
Okay, thank you very much, George. That's a very good question, actually, and thanks for bringing it up. So I did explain that talent is a natural skill. And natural means, and I hope you guys don't mind if I get a bit religious about this, but it's a God-given gift that you're born with, okay? But even people who are not religious know that, you can distinguish what a talent is. Someone, is a young kid and they're singing in the bathroom out of the blue, they're enjoying a football ball or whatever it is. It is natural. Now, our careers, 70% of our careers are not our talents. Our careers can be talents, okay? For instance, there are people like Lionel Messi, all right? He's possibly never left a ball since he was born. If you read his stories, his talent is football and he's a football player, all right? And when you look at all of you, when they ask you a question in the future that, what did you want to be when you grew up? You find that most people say something else. So if you had that natural inclination that you want to be this when you were born and no one, forced you into it, like, for instance, I can give you an example. My father was very litigious when I was growing up, and I was very good at writing. I wanted to become a writer, but he insisted I become a lawyer. And on hindsight, I don't regret it because I realized that when you have something that is natural, you don't need to go to school for it, that you can do it automatically because it's inherent. So I became a writer because naturally I had a gift to express myself, and it was an inherently gifted thing that I was born with, okay? Now, I also like nature a lot. So I do a lot of tourism shows. I'm trying to open up a resort in Uganda, and that's where I'm in Uganda at the moment. So career is only a talent if it was an inherent desire within you from when you could understand and conceive what you want to do with your life, all right? Where people miss out on developing their talent is that they have all these dreams and aspirations in life, but then life happens. And guess what? You're finished school as a lawyer, you wanted to be a lawyer in life, you can't get a job, I'm going to be whatever comes. And then you live the rest of your life doing that, all right? Which is okay, because that's what life is like. But talents and talent development is about your naturally gifted skill sets and things that tap into their talent is because you never feel like you're going to be strained going to work to do something you like to do. And very often people ask you that, do you enjoy waking up to go to work? And you say, it's a paycheck, right? Very quickly you realize that's not your talent. That is something you have to do to survive, okay? So when you're mentoring these young youth and you're mentoring them about talents, try so much to tap into the things that they are passionate about, because that's where their talent lies. That's where they will find fulfillment as well, if they can pursue those things in life. So yes, I'm a lawyer. I don't think that's my talent. I'm a very good lawyer, but I think my talent was to write, was to inspire people. I played football like you, George, as a kid. I played tennis. I played rugby. I played athletics. So right now, I'm going to do sports law. And that's the thing as well, that when you know your passions, even when you go into a career, at times you can trace back to the things that you're passionate about. So I've been an immigration lawyer for a while, and I'm now going into sports law because I'm passionate about sports. Okay. So let's try to educate our youth in that way, that learn what you're passionate about. Even if you get a career because you have to survive, consequently, don't give up on that. That's the best gift you can ever have, a God-given gift. Find a way to nurture it, even in your old age, even through your children, even in doing something on the side, which you're passionate about, because that is where you'll find fulfillment. That is where you'll find accomplishment. I hope that answers you, George.
It does. Thank you very much for throwing more light on that. Thank you. Okay, so I think if maybe there are no questions on that, we would let Olivia take over.
All right, thank you, guys.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you, everyone. And I'm very, very honored and humble for the opportunity to kind of share and also Onyx reflection today. I very much value the opportunity, given that I believe this would have been also a game changer for me some years back. So I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to share some of the insight I learned through life. So I also wish to thank George for this opportunity to share with such a great and diverse audience. So what my discussion will be focusing on today is MindShift for global influence. I'm quite happy that this conversation just follows the one done by James, because it's actually just a direct, I mean, it will help understand better some of the concept he highlighted, especially around talents, because some of us, for some of the youth that are connected here online today, it's still quite not clear, you know, what exactly their talent is. And in this conversation, I would like to, you know, kind of bring them a little bit on this journey of, you know, discovering, you know, what exactly or what could be your talents, and how you get to identify those. So I think we can start with a little bit of definition, because we are talking here about influence. So it's definitely important that we get to, you know, understand what exactly influence is. And by way of definition from the Oxford Dictionary, we understand that influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, the development or behavior of someone or something. And influence can actually be the effect itself, the effect produced. So from that definition, we can see that interaction, conversation, even attitude, all have the potential to influence other people. But I believe before we embark into, you know, how we can actually create that influence, and more so at the global level, it would be interesting to understand first why we should be eager to actually want to influence. So what I'm going to speak about in this in the next minute, will be on the reasons why we should be interested in influencing our environment. So regarding that, I came up with some of kind of four reasons why I think each and every one of us should be taking this journey of, you know, looking into the why we want to have influence. So the first consideration here is really that as individual, we are unique. I think some people in, you know, in their interaction with other people on a daily basis, they get to realize that, you know, there are a lot of differences, you know, in the people they meet, in the attitudes, in the ways of living. And this is actually done so, this is actually the case because of our uniqueness as individual. So this is kind of the first reason why we should be looking into how we can influence, because as individual, we have unique personality, we have natural strength and unique abilities that we have the potential to kind of put out there in the world to produce impact. So basically, because of who we are at our core, we have certain abilities that no other person, even our brothers and sisters, can contribute to the world. And this should be one reason why we should be interested in bringing those to the world, because nobody else can do so because of our uniqueness. And this actually, we get that from our creator. So aside from that consideration, one element that I believe we should also have in mind is that is important while we look into this uniqueness, to actually strive to understand better, you know, who we are and what are these specific, you know, strengths, as I mentioned, or weaknesses that we have. And in this journey, we have to kind of learn to uncover our behavioral style, also learn to understand a bit better the core motivation behind what we do. And because this, you know, understanding these behavioral patterns will actually help us to leverage better on those strengths that we have identified, and also try to improve on the weaknesses that we have identified. Obviously, whenever you hear me speaking that way, then the question that will come to your mind is, okay, how do I now get to be able to, you know, identify these abilities if you haven't had the opportunity to do so yet? I would say that some of the tools I've found very useful and that I would think could help some of us to get there will be mainly some of what we call personality tests, because as I mentioned, we have different ways of kind of, you know, expressing ourselves, and those tests are actually here to kind of help us, you know, and help us understand a bit better, you know, ourselves, and also understand a bit better others. As by way of example, one text that is commonly used, you know, which focuses on, you know, elements around human behaviors, and is like the classic DISC. DISC stand here for dominance, influence, steadiness, and consciousness. Aside from that, we also have other tests like the Enneagram, which is also helping us to get to understand a little bit better some of the motivation behind our actions. And another simple way also of doing it is also hearing from other people around us, the people in our lives, the people that are close to us, that have seen us in, you know, various settings, hearing from them a little bit better about, you know, some of our strength. We can directly ask, and they can purposely, you know, brainstorm and help us achieve or get some of these responses that we are looking for in this journey. Aside from the consideration around our uniqueness, one other consideration that we have to be mindful of is the question or the notion around our identity. So it's very important for each and everyone to reflect on that, because knowing our identity will definitely be helpful in our decision-making process in life. When a decision-making process, when it comes to our careers, when it comes to our studies, and other aspects of our personal life. So whenever we talk about, you know, identity, it's just simply, you know, helping us to take the time to reflect on how we define ourselves. So each and every one of us could just take the time to really, you know, interrogate him, herself, or himself about, you know, our value system, about our motivation, about what we believe is driving us. So one way of also helping us in answering this question is just simply looking at the pattern of our life. You know, it will help us to get kind of a better sense and give us some level of indication about who we are. It's a very complex process, I should say. It's not a one-off, you know, exercise, and this is a journey, as I mentioned, and it's important that we take the time to really, you know, look into specifically, you know, how we define ourselves. Like, am I what I have or what I possess? You know, do I, you know, find satisfaction in my possession? So, or is it that I believe that I have significance through what I do in terms of activities? So it's really important to take the time to reflect on those as we take up that journey. For some of us, especially me, as a Christian, we have really to understand and that, you know, our identity is you know, founded in our God, and depending, you know, and yeah, basically this is a question each and every one of us has to ask themselves, because this will tremendously impact the way we to make decisions and the way we process some of these important moments in our lives. So another consideration also is around our purpose. So what we mean here by purpose is basically, you know, we mentioned earlier that there are some unique ways that, you know, unique abilities or strength, or, you know, that the Lord has given us. And as a result, we believe that there are some also specific ways that so far in our lives, we have been led to kind of impact in other people's life. So it'll be interesting now to really, you know, taking the time to reflect on, you know, what are some of these things that we see in our lives that we have done that kind of passionate us, that we seem to be doing kind of naturally, and that we believe we'll be eager to do to kind of, you know, be helpful to the people around you or impact the environment around you. So it's also very much important that we take the time to really think about, you know, what exactly we see could be our purpose and in our lives, how we could actually, you know, pursue it, and what will then kind of bring us some level of accomplishment, if I may put it that way, because we've been able to use those gifts and talents and abilities that we have and create impact, basically. The fourth consideration, very quickly, is around vision. So once we are more or less clear with, you know, elements around our identity and purpose, it becomes a little bit easier, I would say a little bit easier for us to kind of shape or define a vision for our life. So basically, it's about, you know, what we want to be known for in our lives. You know, what are the type of accomplishment we are aiming for when it comes when we are reflecting and thinking about the future. So setting up a vision then will kind of give us a framework and also help us to define a set of goals that will guide us as we go through life. So yeah, as a matter of fact, you know, it's very much helpful for us to kind of write that vision, you know, down, because as I mentioned, is a guide. It is a framework that we would always, you know, go back to whenever we are making choices or decisions, because the objective is really to attain some of the goals we would have detailed there. Obviously, you know, writing such a statement requires us again to brainstorm and go deep into, you know, some questions around, around what exactly we believe, you know, can satisfy or bring us joy in doing. And the vision actually touches a different sphere of our lives. It could be when it comes to our family relationship. It could be related to financial, you know, security. It could be social development. It could be any area. It could be health related as well. So whenever we think about, you know, what we want in terms of shaping a vision, we really have to kind of think big. We have to think something that inspires us, something that is powerful, something that we know will keep us motivated as we are striving to achieve those goals that we would have set for ourselves. So it's definitely something that, you know, is worth taking the time considering and looking into, to be able to really tap into the full potential that was God-given to us, as James mentioned initially when speaking about talent. So quickly, I will now look into the second length, sorry, of the question that was posed to us with this topic. Is really about now how can we then influence, you know, as I mentioned it at the beginning of my my conversation. Influence also has a lot to do with leadership. Leadership in the sense that influence come, you know, as a result of the leadership that we are exercising. So, you know, it's when we take up that role of a leader, you know, someone with, you know, purpose, someone with a vision, a clear vision, we then now get to put in place action. We then now get to make decision that kind of has as a result impact, and that create influence on our environment, on the people around us, the people that we bring on our journey to achieve our vision. And it's important while we are trying to achieve those visions that we have defined for ourselves. And I should emphasize the fact that a vision is really, really personal, in the sense that, you know, it's about you and in your uniqueness. It's about you in your personality traits. So you cannot just borrow someone's vision and just try to flow, to, you know, to roll with it. That wouldn't work. So the moment now you are clear with what you expect, what you are looking forward to in terms of your vision in life, in terms of the impact you want to make, in terms of the things you want to be, you know, remembered for, you basically have to develop some specific, you know, characteristic or you know, or a mindset basically that will help you to achieve that influence, to achieve that impact. So it's basically about a given attitude. So one of the key characteristics, I believe, of people that can create influence is, first of all, the fact that they are intentional. They are intentional in the sense that they have a clear vision and they are really intentional about putting, you know, things in place to achieve those goals. So is as I think James mentioned, it's quite easy to quit when things get tough. But when you are clear with where you're heading to, you have that, you know, that strive, and you are intentional about doing what it takes to actually achieve your goals. Aside from that, I believe that people that have a clear vision, they are also connected in the sense of, you know, they know that, you know, achieving a vision, achieving those goals will not be solely done by them on their own. They need, you know, they need people to go along with them in achieving that vision. So they stay connected to the environment, they stay connected to the people they want to impact, or want to influence, basically. And lastly, they are also, you know, lifelong learners. As we mentioned previously, as it was mentioned previously in James' presentation, we definitely, need those mentors to accompany us in nurturing and growing the talents or the gifts that we have. So it's the same here when it comes to influence, and implementing basically the vision that we have. We need people around us to to bring in their expertise, their knowledge, to challenge us also in the vision we have. And obviously, that vision is not static. It will evolve also according to what we perceive as priorities. It will evolve as what we feel is driving us. And for that, we need this we need to be accompanied by people that will play that role of challengers in the achievement of that vision. And as a matter of fact, to be able to accept or intake some of these feedback and comment, this requires a lot of humility, in the sense that we reckon that we are not know-it-all. We need people feedback. We need inputs. Finally, I want to share briefly, there are many of them, but I just identify 3 keys needed for us to be able to influence in any of the sphere that we would have chosen, because once we go through that journey, we decide what, we want to be, what we think we have gifts to do, or what our purpose is. Now we need the tools, to be able to kind of implement that. And some of these keys is around, our ability to actually communicate this vision to others, because, as I mentioned, we need connection. We need, people to accompany us in this process. It's important that we clearly and consistently also just share this vision with them in a way that we are able to really convey what we are passionate about, so that we get, if I may say it, their buying, and we have them alongside with us in the journey. So to be able to mobilize, we have to be able to communicate the vision. But aside from that, we should, as good leaders in the implementation of our vision, we should be able to just, take the time to just, hear the people around us, because we bring our vision to them, fine, but it would be important that we are able to hear their viewpoints, and also we have that flexibility to listen, and in a constructive manner to either integrate some of the views we receive, or just simply be a good listener, because there's just wisdom out there that we should be able to tap into if we take the time to carefully listen. And aside from that, the final point I wanted to raise, and which I believe will speak to the next conversation, is around network. MeetMentors and this hackathon is a great opportunity to really connect with people, to just grow our network, to just share ideas. And it's important as we go and just implement our vision, is important that we get to hear from others, to hear from their experience, and to just tap into all of the knowledge that is available out there. So this is, in a nutshell, what I wanted to share, and what I believe is really the beginning of the journey when it comes to achieving influence and impact, be it at our family level, local level, or even at a global level. So yeah. thanks again for having me in the conversation.
Thank you so very much, Olivia. This has been very, again, like we mentioned, this has been very educational, transformative as well. And of course, this is information that we need, especially as we make decisions on how we move forward, how we apply the values of mentoring, mentorship, the relationships that we are building, how we can identify the passions, like James said, and how we can make it more strategic as we move on to our next speaker. Thank you. Okay, so our next speaker is Mr. Reginald Texkin, who is going to be speaking to us about building strategic relationships. And it definitely follows through, like Olivia said, it definitely follows through with what we just had. So I'll do a brief introduction again of Reginald, but then I'll also allow him to make his own introductions and tell you a little bit about himself and his passion, right? So Reginald is a human resource professional currently working with Dentsu International as its group HR and talent partner for the Dentsu Group in Ghana, with oversight responsibility of all 4 subsidiaries of the group. He also manages business risk and compliance for Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Senegal. He has a bachelor's degree in humanities, a master's degree in BA Business Administration, and a chartered HR practitioner with the HRCI. So he comes to us with a lot of expertise. So we'll move on to our next speaker. I'll let him introduce himself as well. Reginald, if you're ready. Oh, there he is. Okay. Okay, so Reginald, we're ready for you whenever you are.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Sorry, I dropped off the call just a bit due to some technical issues. George, don't be afraid, I'm back.
Thank you.
I want to thank the team for the opportunity. George is an old-time friend. We're friends in the uni, and for a long time he's been speaking to me about this dream. And today I'm more than happy to see that we are having the 2nd edition of this program, and I'm happy for the successes, and I pray that in the future we'll have more successes and be able to impact lives around the continent and around the larger part of the world. I'm happy and grateful for the opportunity, George and the team. My session more or less has had a bit of it, excellently put into mention by the first 2 speakers, James and Olivia. I think they did a great work delivering on their session, and James mostly I think has touched on a very important part of what I am going to present, and so maybe I'll have to cut that short because I don't want to dilute what James has said already. I think it was amazing what the kind of things he said. I'm going to share my screen in a minute. George, you may have to give me access to be able to share my screen.
Okay, I will.
Yes, I went off the call a bit, so you may have to.
Give you.
Make me a host again.
Where are you? Okay, you are here. Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Just a minute, I will.
So whilst we wait for Regina to do that, if you want us, if if you could just, put in the chat the country you joined us from, so that we get to know, where everyone is coming from. And also, if you were part of last year's Mentor Hackathon, please share with us so that we can just have that. Okay.
Yes, thank you for your patience. I hope my slides are live now. I believe that all the speakers have very important aspects of what I believe are critical ingredients for every young person to have as part of their personal development and career development. And so I'm happy for the content that they've shared so far. And I hope that what I have will come to add up to what James and Olivia have shared with us. I'm speaking on building strategic relationships, and I have added to it a springboard for career advancement. I believe that James extensively touched on mentorship in a broad way, but I'm going to zone in on your career mentorship. And so hopefully we can have a rewarding conversation on this. There's an African proverb that says that it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child. And I believe from Ghana, and I'm not sure of other countries, where I grew up in Ghana, it didn't require just my parent to correct me when I'm doing something wrong. And I remember, as far as I can, my father mostly will be away because of work, but his friends, family friends, colleagues, teachers, external relatives all had a say in shaping the character and in shaping what is acceptable for me to do and what not to do. And I believe that as people that we are looking to have the influence of others in our life in shaping how our careers turn out, it is important for us to be open and be receptive to other people's input. If not, then this whole conversation will not have to be had. And so it takes everybody around you, anybody who can influence you, right from school, your parents, your siblings, to be able to influence what you will become in the future. And so I'm going to tackle it, as I said earlier, from the perspective of our career advancement. Just like when babies are born and they are dependent on mostly their parents and the immediate family for support up to the time that they grow up to take responsibility for themselves. It's the same with our careers. Most of the time, the things that we think we know, actually we know very little or know nothing about. And I've had a chance to, from where I work, to mentor a lot of young graduates that we bring into our organization right from their graduate studies, and they come and we expose the world of work to them, and they realize that life at school and the dreams and all the things they had and all the things they read are very much different from the actual environment of the world of work where their career is starting from. And so it is important for people whose careers are either about starting or have started to have certain information to help in shaping, just like a newborn baby depends on the immediate influences of his life to be able to shape their career in a meaningful way. And so I will speak a bit about in terms of early careers, and then how we can build meaningful relationships, not just networks and acquaintances. And the fact that it is a truth all over the world that no one is an island and no one can stay and thrive on their own. We all need each other at one point or the other. And to what I would say is the core of what I'm going to speak about, you need to build a village of your own. Just like it takes a village to raise a child, you need to build a village within which there are influences that are impacting positively your lives, where we are learning lessons and where you are taking advice from experienced people and peers to be able to shape your own. And for me, that building a village of your own It takes time. And so let us start now if you have not started already. I come to you with 5 main, and before I continue, let me put this out there. A lot of the things information I'm going to share with you are information that I got exposed to. I received the Harvard Business Review quite regularly, and when George reached out to me, incidentally, the material I've just read bordered on this, and so I've created my presentation on I've quoted extensively from the Harvard Business Review, which I believe the information in it is quite important for this discussion. And so you see that I've made quite an extensive use of the material I read a couple of weeks back. And so 5 relationships that you need to build a successful career. You should have a mentor. You should have a sponsor. You should be able to build a partner. You should be able to compete within the environment. And you should yourself be a mentor to someone. You should be able to have a mentor. You should be able to have a sponsor. You should be able to develop a partner and be able to thrive within the competition that exists within your environment. And above all, you must also have a mentee, a mentor, and be able to share what the details are. In having a mentor, as I said, the age bracket, I'm quoting this, is that when a more experienced person teaches someone new, the knowledge transfer that takes place is unparalleled. Wouldn't it be unfortunate that you are staying with, say, an elder brother who has gone through a lot of life experiences, learned a lot of lessons, gone through things that you are yet to actually imagine and think about, have him around and still repeat the same struggle that he's had without he being of help to you? I believe that there are people around us that we must tap into what they can offer us to make our lives easier. Experience is very expensive, but for the mentee and for someone who wants to have a great career, you do not have to suffer the same mistakes. You don't have to suffer the same consequences of those mistakes that other people have suffered from. And so for me, see your mentor, that guides your way along the path of life, so that you have a focus and there's someone that is guiding you, so that you don't get led astray, get lost, or out of, get frustrated in life when there is information in other people that you can tap from that will benefit you and make your life easier. James said something that I was quite excited about. There are people whose experiences and struggles can help define. You don't need to go through those things again. The experiences are there to enrich your life. All you need to do is to create the avenue and get opportunity to be able to access this information. It will be very unfortunate that my son will have to go through certain struggles that I have gone through and things I've learned. And I know that with my eyes closed, I know that if he does this or if he doesn't do this, this is the likely outcome. Then I'll not be a good father to my child. And I believe that, or even a good elder brother to a younger brother. And so there is rich information out there that we can make use of to be able to enrich our own lives. We can become better than the generation that is serving us now. We can become better than the people that are guiding us now. And so mentors basically help you to expand your knowledge in the industry, to navigate difficult conversations, to listen to feedback on yourself and project that you are doing, to get some encouragement when times are tough. You find a mentor and slowly start the relationship. Give me just, yes. Now I have my full screen, great. So we need to find a mentor and slowly start the relationship. And the mentor, what will we be looking out for? I know James has mentioned people wearing suits but there are people around us and there are criteria that we need to look out for. What is your own personal aspirations? Because as far as your career is concerned, you cannot aspire to someone who is a politician or who is a medical doctor when your own career aspiration is to be a musician. And so you need to find the right people who have gotten the experience within the context of your own interest to be able to rely on these people as mentor. And for me, there are three things that are critical for any mentor-mentee relationship to thrive. One, the mentor must be a reliable person. The mentor must show wisdom and knowledge within the field within which he is within, and he must, at all times, be honest with you. A mentor must be reliable, a mentor must be wise and knowledgeable within the space that he is operating, and he must, of a matter of necessity, always be honest with you. After all, what is it? Mentorship is all about having a conversation that helps increase your self-awareness and help you grow both personally and professionally. And so if you have someone who is not very straightforward with you regarding feedback, if you have someone who is not reliable and at critical times not reachable to you, if you have someone who himself is found wanting in that area that you are aspiring to, then you will not be having a mentor that is worth the salt for you to benefit from. The next person or the next relationship that I find critical for any young person to have is the sponsor. And by the sponsor, I'm not talking of the one that will just write a check for you to pay certain critical expenses, or the one that is just there for the sake of the finance. But the sponsor, basically, I'm talking about someone who is your advocate. Having a mentor is great, but in the world of work and within your professional life, having an advocate for yourself is quite an extra level or the next level regarding mentorship. It is not just someone who gives you feedback, someone who is guiding you, someone who is using his life to show you the way to go. Not just someone that is an inspiration, but someone that has come a little bit more closer, someone that you have a little bit more deeper relationship with, who is able to advocate for you and what you stand for and what you can do. As a young person, you need this. Listen to this. And this is from the managing director of Morgan Stanley, Carla Harris, who said that a mentor is a nice to have, but you can survive a long time in your career without one. You are not going to ascend in any organization without a sponsor. A sponsor advocates on your behalf, and in that room where because probably of your level, because you are not exposed to the conversation there, he's the one that is holding up your name, and he's the one that is telling them, look, this guy has a great potential. Why? Because I know him personally. He's worked under me personally. I have collaborated with him personally. He has delivered an assignment to me personally. And I know that if we give this person the opportunity at the next level, he is going to deliver to us. You need a sponsor. How do we get a sponsor? For one to get a sponsor, and I'm going to use practical examples from my place of work. I work in a multinational organization where, in Ghana, one strategy we use in attracting talent is through our graduate programs. And for the past 4 years that I have been with the organization, I've seen young people who have come in and have shown themselves that they are grateful for the opportunity and have learned on the job and are delivering amazing results for the team in Ghana here. And at leadership meeting, we are not afraid to say that, put this young person as a lead for this project. Put this young person as the main person leading on this. And so to be able to acquire for yourself that kind of sponsor, to be able to get someone to be your sponsor, to be able to get someone advocating for your skills, for for your dedication, for your talent, for your sheer will to be able to succeed at the office. It largely depends on you. You need to build a reputation of being great at what you do. In the same way that there are others who have come in and we are confident to, though they don't have so much experience, but we are confident to put them on the spot and put them, throw them within our clients for them to manage a certain space for us. There are also some that, despite all the support that we have built around them to be able to help them to succeed, it just doesn't seem to work. And so for such persons, you have a different conversation. But there are people that have acquired sponsors, not even through they themselves intentionally moving that be my mentor or be my sponsor, but through their own hard work and through the reputation that they've built that I am a result-giving person. I will give you the result that you need. With all the support, I won't let it go to waste. With all the support that you're giving me, with all the training and everything, this is the I have to present to you. They have indirectly built sponsors, and we ourselves as managers of these people can testify and boldly say that if you give person A this chance, per the track record over the past 1 year and 2 years, we are confident that she is able to deliver on this with the same support that we have given her. So for you to be able to attract a sponsor, which is the next level of relationship that you need to succeed in your career, you must build a reputation at being great at what you do. You must earn the trust of the people that are around you. It's not someone that when we want something delivered on this day, you always have to come back and ask for more time. It's not just someone that you are given assignment and you are unable to collaborate and get help even when you need it, or someone that just doesn't seem to care about the job and will just do anything and present to us. People around you watch. And just like the scriptures say that there is a great witnesses around us that are watching everything that we do. It's the same way that in your professional life, you are not isolated. You are not alone. You are not on your own. There are people that are looking at you. There are people that are supporting you. There are people that are trying to make sure that you succeed. There are people that are anxious for you to succeed. And so that opportunity, when you take hold of it and you run with it, you indirectly earn yourself sponsor. People that will testify about you and say that this next level opportunity, let us give to this person or that person. You need to make sure that by your own reputation at the workplace and by your own reputation with the people that are around you, you are trusted to deliver on an assignment. You must be worthy of being advocated for. Remember that whilst the sponsor is for advocating for you, it is their reputation they are putting on the line for you. It is the respect that people have in them and their words and their judgments that is on the line. And so you need to be worthy of being advocated for. The question you need to put yourself is that, are you showing the right attitude? Are you putting in the right effort? Are you directing your energy to be able to earn the trust and to be worthy of being advocated for? These are questions that you can only answer to yourself and be able to sincerely ask yourself and answer for yourself. And when there are gaps clearly, then you need to start taking steps to be able to fill them so that you can earn the trust and be trusted to be advocated for. To find a sponsor, you need to begin by showing people in your organization that you are someone worth advocating for. This means you must be great at what you do and your work must be visible. And so you need to ask yourself, am I worthy of being advocated for? For me, the next very important strategic relationship that any younger person needs, or anybody climbing the ladder of the professional life needs, is to be able to have that partner. Remember, the end game is for you to become the best at what you do. The end game is for you to become the best among the best in every field that you find yourself. if you do not have this as an end game in your head, if you do not have this as the goal, as what you are driving towards, then a lot of things that we are saying here will not matter in the first place. But I'm hoping that I'm speaking to people who are self-motivated and have goals to become the best within the space that they want to find themselves within. And to be able to do that, one key relationship that you need to build is to be able to find yourself a partner. I'm not talking of the guy or the girl that you are hoping to marry or you are in a relationship with. I'm talking about a partner and someone that will come in and be able to complement all the efforts, all the energy and all the thinking and everything that you are doing, so that this person is more or less your own personal advisor, someone that has your interest at heart and is willing to tell you in the face that what you are doing is wrong or what you are doing can be done better, and be able to share with you things that will help and improve your career. A good partner will amplify your strength so you manifest them better. Everybody has something that we are great at, and we all admittedly have certain areas of our life that require certain improvement at every stage of our life. A good partner is someone that can help you be able to see things that you are great at, amplify your strength, and be able to tell you that, look, there is something that you are wonderful at, and there's something that you must continue doing, and we will be willing to even check whether you are taking the right steps in that direction. Everybody needs that kind of a partner, that kind of a friend, someone that will be able to throw the light on you and put the mirror in front of you to say, look at your reflection. You are way better than this. Look at your reflection. You can get better at this. Look at your reflection. You can become greater at this. Everyone needs this kind of relationship as we are growing in our careers. A great partner will support in closing gaps so you become better. And so just like they are magnifying and amplifying your strengths and encouraging you to build better on it, they are not the ones that will also bring you down, because just like any human, you have certain shortcomings or you have certain failures. But partners who truly, if you recruit them well and if you really have a great partnership, will know that Reginald isn't so great at this. What can I do to help? And so they are interested in you closing certain things that are lacking in your life. A great partner, and if you're having a good partner in your life or in your career, this person cares about how others see you, your reputation. They are not in a hurry to expose your weaknesses and to put you out there as someone that is not worthy of anything, but they are rather able to see your faults, your shortcomings, and say that this is what I can do to help you get better, and actually offer solutions to be able to help you. You need to ask yourself, of all the friends that you throw with, of all the friends that you are having on within your circles, of all the friends that you are having on your social media handles, of all the friends that you are having, all around, your schoolmates, your old schoolmates and all that, which of them is helping you close your gaps? Which of them is interested in you becoming better than you are today? Or they are just interested in the football trolls and the trolls that you put on social media so that we all laugh? If your friends are all about that, then really you don't really have a friend or a partner. You need to have people in your life whose what they care about is not just themselves, but you in particular as someone that they have special interest in and are willing to bend backwards to be able to help you become better, to be able to fill certain gaps and help you improve at what you do. Such partners must also be complementary in personality and work ethics. We are not the same. We have different temperaments and different ways of doing things. We have people who naturally will want to sit back, think, and do all the detailed work. But when you put them on the stage to talk about their own ideas and things that they have put together, they will struggle because in their own personality, speaking and being out there is just not part of their makeup. There are others too who naturally, given the very shortest notice, will be able to put his or her thought together and present as if he has had this knowledge for years ago. It's just in their natural self to be able to present and talk out there and be able to convince others and do things that others put in the same situation cannot do. You need to find who will be a best fit for your personality. Imagine you are someone that is a choleric, a sanguine. You bring fun out there, but not so much all the time interested in the detail, the background detail and the workings behind the scenes. If you find yourself partnering with someone that has the same personality as you, both of you are bound to not have a very success, to have a success story. Or even if you succeed, not to the level that you could have. You need to find partners that are whose characters and work ethics and behaviors are complementary to what your personality is. If not, like the old adage goes, you'll be two blind people holding hands, singing happily, only to fall into a ditch. Everyone needs that person who brings that extra addition and extra value into your life. Everyone needs that person who at one point or the other is able to say a word, give an advice, make an input, pull that data, make sense of that data for you to be able to make proper impact within the space that you are trying to or you are operating within. If you are not mindful of this, then you may think that anybody goes. No, not anybody goes. Whoever you want to recruit or whoever you want to partner with as someone that you are looking to have a shared vision with and be able to complement each other and correct each other and help each other and bring the best out of each other. I believe that such a person, his personality, his character, his attributes, his work ethics, and what he believes in must be complementary to what yours are, and yours also to that person. And believe you me, there is always someone and some people in our circles that will fit this criteria. Attraction or becoming a partner. How do you attract someone and how does that relationship mostly start? I have friends that immediately after a meeting or after a discussion will meet you and off the record or in the quietness of walking towards your car or whilst you are sitting in your car, come to you and say, look, I have something to tell you. And it's all about feedback on things that have happened in the day and what they think you could have done better and what they think that you did so great, and so you keep it up and improve on it. You need such people in your life. So to be able to attract or become a partner, you need to learn to advocate for other people's work. Selfishness cannot help you. And I know naturally, there are people that desire the spotlight all the time. It's in their nature. There are people that, but some way, somehow, if you want to have that person being part of your development and your growth as far as your career is concerned, you need to be open and selfless enough to be able to advocate for other people, to be able to put that light on that person and say that, look, all this, yes, I presented, but look, all the details, if not for Martin or if not for this person, what you saw and you are clapping for has come from this man, and I've only given it to you the way we understood it. You must not be afraid for someone to take the spotlight, for someone to take the praise. You must be willing to advocate for other people's work. In the same way, others will advocate for your work and your contribution as well. You need to pay attention to those who reciprocate your enthusiasm. Sometimes these people may not even be within what we call our immediate circle of friends, but something may happen at a gathering, a conference, a church, whatever the program might be. And this person will reach out to you and say one or two thoughts and make one or two inputs that when you hear it, you know that, if I had known this earlier, probably my presentation would have been richer, or probably I would have done this in a better way. You need to pay attention to these people and start building the necessary connections with yourself as someone who is a participant or who is also a part of a partnership, a stakeholder in a partnership. You must yourself show yourself to be trustworthy and reliable. What is partnership without a great collaborating spirit? What is partnership without being able to collaborate and despite your differences in personality, differences in thought, differences in a lot of things, be able to find common ground and collaborate and come out with something amazing that the two of you or the group of you or others outside even of your circles will be happy of and will be proud of. And so to be able to move further and to be able to have a great career advancement, one thing that I believe anybody needs and everybody needs is to have that person or those people within your circle that you can call a partner or partners. The Harvard Business Review defined partnership as a mutually beneficial peer relationship. It is fueled by trust, a shared drive to succeed, and the recognition that you can do better together. You need a partner, I need a partner if you all want to make it in this life and especially in our careers. You cannot go alone, you cannot go solo. You need to have that special relationship with that someone within the context of your career development who is the second voice in your head. What will this person do if he was close to me? What will be his thinking pattern? What will be his input? And in the same way, such person must see you in the same light and of equal or even more beneficial within the relationship. The HBR I want to quote from again, ultimately what makes a partnership work is the idea that you two or three will be more successful together. I always tell people that I try to get into business partnership, like look, we can be 50-50% shareholders of $100 million business, or we can just be 100% shareholders of $1 million businesses. But I believe that if I own 50% of a 100 million business, it's much better than having 100% ownership of a $1 million business. And so I believe that partnerships are essential ingredients for growth and advancement in everything that we want to do. And if you do not have that person that you can confidently say, this is my partner in my career or in life or in what you are doing, you need to start looking at who may qualify for you to have that kind of partnership with. The next thing that I want us to look at is the fact that I know there's this cliche that life is not a competition. Be in your lane, your time will come. Yes, they are all beautiful things to say. They are nice, and as a matter of fact, they are true. Life isn't a race, but life is also not a competition. I'm not talking of someone that you are almost always at each other's throats. This level of collaboration where in your diversity, you are bringing the best out of yourselves because you all want to succeed at what you are doing. And for me, this kind of competition is always a win-win, not the kind of competition that is looking to put the other down and so that you alone have succeeded. I would like to, and because I like football a lot, James did mention Lionel Messi, but I'll mention probably arguably the two best footballers of our time. I know that in front of the camera, they will pretend as if they are not in competition. Why? They are not in the same teams. They are now in different countries. But you and I know, and if you are a follower of football, you know that Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, whether in terms of media coverage, whether in terms of goal or football records in every angle, these guys are pushing themselves to become better than they themselves have been previously. And by so doing, trying to put their dominance or try to create the sense that they are the best in the game. And you keep seeing them pushing records and pushing the limits. And when this one does this, the following time, this one is doing this. And when this one is not doing so well, you realize that he's doing everything he can to come out of that quagmire and be able to steal the limelight again and be able to do something that is praiseworthy and to really confirm them as the best. They are not in competition to kill each other. They are not in competition to subject and themselves to the limits, so much so that we know that when you say the best footballers or the best two footballers in our world right now, they are the two people that you are likely to mention. I know they have their own fans and they say a lot of things, but for me, these guys are competing so healthy that they are bringing the best out of it, and even at past their prime in footballing age, they are pushing themselves so much so that people that are younger aren't able to match the kind of record and the kind of thing that they are doing in football and in their careers at the moment. Sorry to all Manchester United, you lost today to Watford, sorry. And for me, these guys are pushing them. You need to have that kind of arena, and your competitor necessarily must not be an adversary. Your competitor could even be that same person that you are in partnership with. It could be that person that you are in the same office with. But you guys are pushing yourself so that we know that you are trying to become the best, and in trying to become the best, you are pushing the other to bring the best in them as well. Competition always must lead you to be innovative and creative. It must engage your thinking. And if you are in a healthy competition, it's not the type that you hear that somebody has succeeded at something and you are sad that somebody has succeeded. Their success stories push you to also think of new ways that you can also become better than you are or you are doing today. Competition must open your mind to acknowledge other people's strength and leverage for a win-win outcome. Within the office space, I'm an HR manager. I'm happy to see two of my team members competing and doing everything to win the employee of the year or to win the employee of the month. I'm happy because everything they are doing in that silent competition, in that healthy competition, is inuring to the benefit of the company and inuring to their work objective being met and or exceeded. And so healthy competition always helps. I have no problem, and you shouldn't have any problem, even with someone that you in your head you are competing with, to go to them and acknowledge their strength and commend them for the great work they are doing. You must be able, in the spirit of goodwill, be able to acknowledge that this guy is great. I think I'm good, but this guy is great, and I'm going to push myself to see how I can match him and even exceed what he is doing. That is the kind of competition the kind of competitor in your life that you need to be able to drive you. The kind of competition that is bringing the best that you could ever be. The kind of competition that is making you think and making you explore things that hitherto, if you were just thinking of yourself as the best in the business or the best in the area or the best in the country, probably you may be relaxed. But we know that there is someone that is doing what you are doing and doing it better. You want to learn and you want to think and want to be able to say that this guy is great. Let me see what I can do to be able to match up or even become better than what he's doing. Competition must always drive you to excellence. And last but not the least, regarding your competitor, you must benefit from your competition. As I said, and with the example that I gave, both of these two players, I believe, and from interviews that I have listened from both of them, I know that they watch each other and they are driven and they are benefiting from each other and the push that each other gives to themselves. You must be able to participate. You must be able to embrace competition and be able to participate in it and thrive. Do not be afraid of competition. There is so much greatness in you that you need a competition to bring it out. And you must be ambitious enough to want to be the best. There's nothing wrong with being the best. There's nothing wrong with you saying that I can be the best and pushing yourself to that limit. There's nothing wrong in trying to become better than yourself yesterday or last year. There's nothing wrong with self-competition and external competition, just so that at the end of the day, you are churning out excellent work that you are proud of and that the people around you are proud of. Dr. Stephen Covey, in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says that a win-win attitude, and by this competition, possesses 3 vital character traits: integrity, maturity, and abundance of mentality. It builds your mental fortitude and the strength you need mentally to be able to do what you want to do to win. It makes you mature enough to acknowledge the strength of other people, and above all, your integrity can be built and sustained when you are competing healthily. I know time is gone, but I'll be bringing this to a close soon. The last but not the least of our conversation is the mentee. Professor Richard Feynman, a physics Nobel Prize winner, once said that if you want to master something, teach it. At every level in our lives, there is someone who, if we pay attention and also care about their development, there is something that we have acquired. A teacher in everybody, and you can become a mentor too. How do we do this? You must identify someone that you can also impact. And if you pay attention enough, there is always someone that you can impact yourself. You must be willing to also bring out the best in others. Just the same way that the MeetMentors organization is passionate about becoming the very best of yourself and have brought all of us today to share what we have learned in life and our careers with you. The same way that I believe you can also impact others and be able to make others' life much easier and better for them. You must recognize the strength of other people and help them to build on it, as well as their gaps, and help them to fill it. Be willing with giving feedback, and above all, you must be willing to also make time to coach. These things are not just nice to do and nice to, but as I said, it is in one way or the other also helping you. And in mentoring others, it helps you to also hone certain important soft skills that hitherto you may not have been able to develop. If yours is only to always listen to and take notes and just take from others, there are certain things that you will get, but there are things that you can also learn by practicing what you are learning. And for me, the things that come out from personal experience as far as mentoring others is concerned is that it helps for you to also build strong communication skills, because you know that you need that kind of skill to be able to impact others. And so for me to be able to say that I can speak in a way that is clear and in a way that the information is understood by the people that are listening to me, I need to pay attention and to my communication skills, and it means that I have to improve on this. And so by doing this, it helps you indirectly also hone your own communication skills. It helps you to also bring out your creativity and your thinking cap, put your thinking cap on. It helps you to be empathetic, to be able to think of what others may be going through, put yourself in their shoe, and be able to proffer what you may think are the best solutions or the best help for them at that point in time. And so for me, you also putting yourself out there and trying to help someone to get this kind of information is also important for your own development and for your own advancement, because in teaching others, you learn and teach yourself to become better. And one key skill that a lot of employers are looking out for, and when we are sitting in front of the panel and with all those questions that they are asking you, one thing they are looking out for is whether you are emotionally intelligent. One way for you to develop this skill is for you to be able to share this kind of mentoring activities with others. Today, I was fortunate to listen to on a program in a local radio station, and I was so happy. It is information that I know, and I believe George knows that way back in our days in uni, we used to discuss extensively about personality types and temperament and all that. Today, I listened into a program and someone brought a whole new perspective about it. And indirectly, that person within that space that I was listening to him has offered some form of information that has also built me, which I believe when I have the opportunity to speak about temperament, I will add and make my presentation rich by sharing that additional information. We are not alone. As we receive from others, we must also give to others. In that way, we are the utmost beneficiaries of both the information we receive and the information we share, because both come to impact us. And so for me, in bringing my presentation to a close, 5 key things that anybody needs, 5 key relationships that we need. You need a mentor, you need a sponsor, you need a partner, you need a competitor, and you need to have mentees who you are also trying to help and trying to advise and trying to help them to build their careers. It can be younger people who are in the high school or who are in the junior high or who are in the elementary school or the primary schools. Any level that you can be impactful, you can be. And so you need to decide that as you take information and as you benefit from the mentorship of others, you want to impact others as well. In bringing my presentation to a close, just something that a food for thought for all of us, that everybody needs somebody sometimes, and nobody lives in isolation. We all need each other, and so be willing to give in as much as you are willing to receive. And by conclusion, I want to read this quote from the HBR again. Sometimes forming this relationship will happen randomly and without effort, but you can accomplish so much more if you are open and intentional about it. So don't leave things to chance. When it comes to your career development, it is something that you don't want to leave to chance. You must intentionally build a career. Time and chance will happen, but you must be a partaker of what happens in your life. There are things that are reliant on you. There are things that are depending on you for you to do. Don't leave certain things to chance when it comes to your career and certain aspect of your life. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping that if there's any question, I'll be willing to take. If not, the person coordinating today's event can take the mic and continue with the activity. Thank you so much for your very wonderful audience.
Thank you so much, Reginald. This has been truly informational. And I know a lot of people have a lot of questions, so don't go yet. We do have questions for you. But we're going to take a short break, but we're going to use that to do a short survey. So I have the link in the chat. If you'd be so kind as to click on the link and answer just a few questions, it's just really short. Oh, and this one also has it there. So please click on the link, answer the short questions, and then we'll transition to the next part of it, which will be our breakout sessions. So the breakout sessions, we are designing that so we can get a little bit more one-on-one with our speakers, Ms. Olivia and Mr. Reginald. So I'll let George handle the breakout sessions. And before we do that, please click on the link and answer the few questions for us.
Yeah, thank you very much, Angela, and thank you, Reginald. So please, let's do say the link is saying I need permission. You do not supposed to need that. Okay. So if that is the situation, Desma would fix that and give it back to us when we are done. You shouldn't be asked for permission. So Desmond, please fix the link. It's a very short one, maybe 1 or 2 questions there, so we can do it when we are back. But what we're going to do in the breakout room is, I know there are lots of questions for both Reginald and for Olivia. We also realized that this could be a good platform to build connections, right? We're talking about sponsors and partners, and this is a great platform to do that. So in the breakout rooms, we will dive more into the issues that were discussed. If you have questions, if you want to get more from either side of what the speakers presented, that is where you want to go. So what I'm going to do now is just a minute here. Okay. So yeah, what Desmond will fix the link for us when we are back. We will just go ahead and do that. It's a pretty simple one. So okay, link has been fixed. Thank you, Desmond. So can you put it there then so that we can do it before we go into the breakout rooms? Okay. So please, the link has been fixed. You don't need permission now. So thank you for letting us know. But you can go ahead and do it now. Yeah, Mary, thank you for bringing attention to that. So please, let's take 1 or 2 minutes just to do the survey, and then when we are back, we will go to the breakout rooms. You can join whichever room you want to go. That is how it's going to be pretty simple. So let's go and come back in some few minutes.
George, you're putting us in specific rooms, I guess, for us.
Oh, I'm coming just a minute. You can just choose where you want to go.
Okay.
So we made it that easy for participants to just choose where they want to go. Okay, but please, let's do the survey and then come back and get into the breakout rooms. Okay. Are we all done? Can you just give me some thumbs up so that I know we are done, and then we can go into the breakout rooms. So once again, the breakout rooms is going to be a place where we ask more questions, get more insight into the topics, and also build, develop network, among, done with the survey. Thank you, Mary. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm just going to leave 1 minute more for us to get in. Okay. It looks like most of you are done. Okay. So now let's go into the breakout rooms. Okay. Okay. So do you have access to choosing where you want to go now? Do you have that access? Please let me know. Exactly. So you can just click on, if you scroll down, you would see MindShift for Global Influence and Building Strategic Relationships. You can just join the one you want to join, and then we would continue the conversation from there. Okay, thank you, Michael. You're done with the survey. Okay. So you can join, I can see where to join the room. I know some of you have joined. So I'm surprised some cannot join. Are you all having problems? I can see where to join the room. Some here. Okay. Can see. Oh. Angie, what do you see from your end?
Oh, hold on. I can see both rooms.
So you
And I
can
can see
join.
people joining. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like some are getting problems.
Okay. If they are using their phones, I think they're using phones.
Okay.
Let me switch 1 second to my phone and then I will.
Sorry, I'm not seeing any breakout room session as well. I can't see.
Is that Olivia?
That's Olivia, yeah.
Okay, then that should not be the case.
Yeah, on your should be on the right, on the left top. It will just, if you click on it, it will just say join breakout room. So on the phone, it should be
Nothing else.
Okay.
it looks like 4 boxes put together.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you're joining from. I can see it. You was able to join on the phone. Thanks, Sanjay, for giving us that.
Just, do you not have the option of sending people in the room? I mean, worst case,
I can do that.
they're not getting.
I don't know
Let me
where they want to go to. So that's the only thing. If not, I could just.
So maybe they can put it in the chat.
Okay,
You
so
know, those who
since
can't see
yeah,
the
so just let
breakout.
me know. But that's going to be tough because it's going to run quickly.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. It's not just for the host on the
Okay, I switched back. What we can do is just to assign. For those who are unable to get in, we can assign them to the rooms. Can I go ahead and do that?
Yes.
But she had already left. So what happened?
Please, if you're not on, can you mute yourself for us? Okay, so if you can put where you want to be in the chat box, we will just assign you. That is pretty simple. And then we will just go ahead with that. So you can choose between, you can just say Olivia or Reggie, and then we'll just put you in the room.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty simple. Sorry about the technical glitch there. Okay.
Okay. So Arawa assigned to Reginald. Okay.
So please, if you could just give us, indicate where you want to be, we would just put you in there. Mary, you can just give the name, you can just say Reginald or Olivia, and they will just put you there. Okay. I think that's going to be simple.
Building relationships, Grace ones. Are you Grace? Grace is Olivia, MindShift. Okay. Mary. It's MindShift. Okay. It's also MindShift. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Michael wants Olivia. Okay, I think I just.
Elizabeth, right.
Relationships. Sam is in MindShift.
Okay.
Okay. And Arba should also be. Okay, I think we have everybody in.
Okay.
So 14. Okay.
Okay, so I think it's good now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angela, for helping that.
You're welcome. Okay. Should we join any of the rooms or just hold on so they can come back?
I think we can go back and forth. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Okay.
Where do you want to go? I'll pick it.
Let's see. I'll go to Olivia.
Okay. I'm to register.
Yes. Okay. See you back in a bit.
Sure.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Hello here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, George.
Okay, great. So we have almost have an hour to do this. Great. So once again, the number here is small. We just want to build network a little bit. And then also if there are any questions, I know Regina presented on a very deep topic. And of course, I've known Regina for so many years. I know I know what he has to offer. So we want to use this platform to really get to know each other a little bit. So let me take the chance to introduce Dr. Sala. Dr. Sala, is it possible to turn your video on? I know it's very late in Ethiopia right now, but maybe just a wave if that's possible. If not, that's fine. But Dr. Sala has been one of the faculty members who has been part of MeetMentors. She is at the University of Addis Ababa. And so thank you very much for joining us, especially at this time. I know it's very late there. Regina, how do you want us to go about this? I mean, it's still your space, so.
Yes, thank you, George. I believe that we've shared we've given a lot of information within the past 35 minutes from what I gave. I don't know if any of the people in the room will want to ask specific questions and then we can dwell on that. For me, it's the little details that bring the clarity to you and make the information more meaningful to you that I look forward to. And so I'm looking forward that people can take the mic and ask questions for all of us to hear, and then we can try to discuss it together in this room, and hopefully before we finish, we're able to share more clarity and more light on what we have presented.
Great. So, Reggie, there was a question that came in the chat box when you were presenting. I'm not sure if the person here, Aram, Joshua Aram, maybe he's not here, but his question was about this. You talked about a competitor. He wants to know if He wants to know if, sorry, not about the competitor. When you were talking about the partnership, right? Having a partner.
Yeah.
He wants to know if that should be intentional. For instance, if I want to see you as my partner, should that necessarily be intentional, or it can just happen without we officially agreeing to be partners? I don't know whether you get a question. That was a question somebody brought.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, so just as I said in my last slide, I know life throws a lot at us, but I think that we need to intentionally regulate and control who comes into our life. I mean, for instance, the partner, if you do not know yourself well and haven't taken the time to also know the people around you well, it will be difficult for you to even decide who should come in as a partner, who should come in as a partner or not. And so for me, a lot of the things that we do, and we are saying this in the context of our career, and our career mostly is about the work we do, whether we are working for ourselves or whether we are in an organization working for the company. And so it must be something intentional. Of course, life will throw in somebody at the other team that is also equally ambitious as you. But you must take what life gives you and turn it to something formal that is driving you. For instance, I bring in someone who is so great at digital marketing, and the following year, the next year, one of the ladies that came in also through our graduate internship program as a national service person is so great. And then the guy that has been there already feels threatened, and I had to have a word with him that, look, you are good at what you do, and if you are seeing this lady as equally good, this is what you can do so that her expertise and her skill set can also inure to your benefit. It's for healthily compete with her and push yourself, get close in her circles. I mean, there's the old adage that keep your friends closer, but keep your enemies closer. And enemies, I'm using it in the low sense here. So the people that you're competing with, you want to get as close to them as possible so that you know what they are likely to throw at you and what you are likely to learn from them. The end game, as I said, is for your personal development, it's for your career advancement. If person A, who is great at social and digital marketing and is doing something and moving the numbers and getting the followers quickly for the client faster than you are doing, you want to get close, you want to know what he or she is doing, and you want to be humble enough to learn, because one sense of competition is for you to remain competitive. You cannot allow yourself to be run by competition so that you go into oblivion or become, irrelevant. So you want to, through every possible source, get to have a lot of information that will help you become a great digital marketing person so that you remain competitive by learning even from the competition, and vice versa. When I've gotten that new information on how you can push and get a certain campaign online running and meeting all the targets, that lady who is also indirectly competing with you will also now begin to sit up and say that, look, Kwame is doing amazing on this campaign, and I need to be able to find a way to be able to match him and beat him. And so we are not saying competition in the sense of adversary, as I said earlier, competition not in the sense of let's split heads so that I'm the only man standing. It's not war. It is healthy competition where the best in you is being pulled by somebody's excellence, and your excellence is bringing the best in the other person. And for myself, in my personal career, struggles I had earlier on and way back in 2007, 2008, struggles that I had in my career, I wish in the organization that I started working for, there was somebody that could push me. And unfortunately, it took me a while to be able to work in an organization where there was somebody at the same level with me, and the business expects us to bring in the result. And at every team meeting, our numbers are being put out there. And today, Reginald has been able to bring in this client. Today, Reginald has been able to bring in this client. Or the next day, Kwame has brought in this client. And we'll all be laughing. But between the two of us, we know that the next meeting, I want to be the one that my numbers is doing better than the other. Yeah. And he also, so it was an environment that brought the best in us, and we've come to become the best of friends within the corporate space. Though I'm not working in that organization anymore, we've still built and respect each other's skill set and capabilities to the point that where I'm working now, the recommendation and the recommendation of that job actually came from that person. That I'm not ready to move, but I know this guy, and if you are looking for me, then this guy is the person to go to. So this is healthy competition that has even contributed to my next career move. And so you want to pay attention to this kind of competition. You want to pay attention to this and not see it as adversarial, where you bring in your sentiment and all that. It's just the best in you that is being pulled out by somebody's excellence, and your excellence also pulling out the best out of someone. And for me, we must have these kind of people around us if we want to have our best brought forward.
Wow. You know what? I just I know we have about maybe 15 or so ish people here. Please, if you took some practical steps to apply from the presentation, Regina gave, I would like you to share. Because you know what, when you were talking, Regina, then of course, I've known you for many years, but when you were presenting, I felt like you were giving us tools. It's just like you're building a house. You must put the blocks in the right places. Yeah. And life is like building a house. Yeah. One mistake somewhere can cost you a lot. And sometimes we don't see that. And that is why MeetMentors, we try to create these, platforms. For instance, when you talk about getting a partner, somebody's a partner, a sponsor, I can share, my current job where I'm currently working now, I left my previous job and came into a new place just in April this year. But it was such that one person in that organization resigned. And when the person resigned, the team lead there, actually somebody I've known in a different circle. I've worked with her in a way, and she knew me. I was actually approached and she said, George, if you're interested in this position, I am the leader here. I'm willing to work with you. Ideally, there was something that was supposed to have been advertised, and of course, they will go through all that formality. But because that person knew me personally and knew what I could bring and knew, talking about, trustworthy and all that, she came to me. And, I say this in the context of being an immigrant in a white-dominated environment. Some of these things are not very easy. I've not been in this city where I live now for long, just about 4 or 5 years. For somebody to know you and trust you with something that makes you responsible for money, for people, integrity is very important. And so
exactly,
when Reggie talks about this, you must get somebody who can sponsor you, who can put his or her life, her life, on the line to say that I can vouch for this person. And so I would want those who are here, if you may have a question, but if you don't have a question, but if you learn some things, you took some some lessons to practically, implement, please, I want you to share that. So if you have something, just let me know. You can just raise your thumbs up in there. I'll give you the chance. But before that, Reginald, I want to put this question once again to you. I know one of the main challenges for lots of youth across Africa is lack of opportunities.
Yes.
People graduate from universities and schools, and there aren't jobs, there aren't opportunities. And of course, I don't want to downplay this. We all know it's a problem. Now, as an HR person who hires people, that's your job. What advice would you give to the people who are here? And of course, those who watch this recording on our YouTube page after we are done with the program. What advice would you have for these people to let them be different from the masses who are still struggling in a space of lack of opportunities or inadequate opportunities? What can cause the people here to stand out and be different? At least lift them a step higher than maybe their colleagues who may leave school and struggle to find something.
That's a very good question and good thing to bring up, especially in younger people, some in school or some have completed and are looking for their career to take off. And for me, and at least for my it's been 14 years since we left school, George.
Yeah.
14 years, yeah. For well over almost 14 years or 14 years of experience in working in HR. Yes, there are certain spaces and especially from where I am, the government hires a lot of people, and in an organization where our GDP, a lot of the income that comes to the country, a lot of it goes into paying salary for government workers. Government hires a lot. And if you have listened to news in Ghana recently, the government has said that there isn't any more space. And actually about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, the government at that time, when they are taken out to an IMF project, one of the conditions was for them to cease employment into the government sector. And so I understand and know that there's a real choke in terms of opportunities that lie out there. But I've always maintained, and I will say it here, that there are opportunities, but people with the skills are lacking. There are opportunities, but people with the skill that we were looking for are lacking. And I will not put myself out there as knowing what is pertaining in a lot of markets or a lot of countries, even within Africa here. But I can speak on what is pertaining at least within where I live and work, Ghana here. Our universities, I believe, and maybe now they are picking up, but for the past 15, 20 years, when the digital world was taking off, our universities did not grow with them. Our educational institutions did not curate programs and courses that will meet those needs. And right now, life is on the digital speed. Unfortunately, the kind of skill set required in our market here, in our country here, to be able to meet these new opportunities. Not that we don't have very smart people, not that we don't have people who are willing, but they have not had the opportunity to be exposed to the information or the knowledge that will be relevant in our today, and I dare to speak, in our tomorrow. What I have told others, and it's not a dead situation, it's not a hopeless situation, I believe, even for those of us in Africa in here, it is not a hopeless situation. Why do I say this? We have something called the internet that many of us are using it, but using it for things that are not very beneficial to our lives. The universities have not done us well in terms of creating programs and training us in the way that we come and we are job ready for the new world of market, for the new world of work. But it doesn't mean that we cannot also do that. As a person sitting here, if I open courses that I have taken apart from mainstream education with certificates and all that, masters, I have 2 master's degrees, or courses that I think are relevant and will make me relevant in what I do. What qualifies me to do the work I'm doing now is not even something I read I learned in the classroom. I knew that there was a gap in knowledge in terms of what the university was giving me and in terms of what the world of work was demanding. So what I did was to get online, and there are a plethora. And if I'll have the chance, George, I have a list of free online portals, online courses where people can take for free. There are that if you want the certificate, you will pay. But as I sit here, when I'm recruiting you, the last thing I ask is your certificate. That's the last thing. It means before I ask you for a certificate, I've taken the decision that I want you. So in the first place, it's your mind and your skill set and what you can do, things that you can speak to, things that you can demonstrate that you can do. That is most important to me than your certificate. What I advise people watching and people who are listening in is that you may have completed university and realize that your certificate is not getting you the job that you need. But let me use the industry that I'm in to share information. There's an industry where people who have learned digital stuff, digital marketing, and how to be creative and Other soft skills that are acquired online are the ones that are the highest earning people within our organization. And so it is not too late for anybody. And I dare say that there are opportunities. There are roles that have been sitting in my office, in my company, in Ghana here, that took me a while for me to fill. And even some of them had to hire someone from the UK, someone who was willing to, who was already trying to relocate. And by providence, the person reached out and I said, I've been looking for a skill set for almost 1 year now. When are you coming? And then unfortunately, COVID came in and we have to put the person to work online, to work remotely. But there are things that within my industry, the advertising industry alone, that are required. There are things and skill sets that are digital inclined in terms of finance. If you have an accountant or finance person, the universities will not teach you how to manage finance on enterprise resource planners. Yeah. It is up to you. The universities will not sit you down and teach you Excel and how to use Excel for accounting. It is up to you because this knowledge is sitting right on your phone, right on your laptop. But we have not prioritized these things and think that the certificates we are holding should give us an entitlement to a job. No. Who is looking to get a skills, it's called job market. What happens in the market? There is a selling and buying of a commodity. What happens in the market? The same on the job market. There's the buying and selling of your skill set, of your time, and of your experience, if experience is required. And you must have the skills, you must have the experience and the time to be able to exchange this value for the salary or the remuneration that the company also give you. No company hires for you to come and just sit down and say that, well, teach me what to do. No, it doesn't happen.
Reginald, thank you. I know there is a lot about this. And a typical example, I've been living out of Ghana for some time. And
yeah, you need to visit Ghana soon.
Don't worry, I'll come. One thing I've realized is this. When you travel abroad and you meet, let me use this country for the sake of education, Indians. You talked about 10, 15 years ago when the digital revolution was coming, the educational system did not embrace it and did not make it part of it. We all know that a country like India prioritizes, this whole digital education. You realize that you meet an Indian and I'm telling you the kind of skills they have on these issues, and it creates opportunities for them very easily.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you that, and I want to say this, my brothers and sisters and all those who are here now, social media is one other thing that people are really using positively. Let us use it well. We have access to internet. We can learn from our phones, from our laptops. We have to take advantage of this. And as Reginald, if you could send me those platforms, I know like Coursera and MOOCs and all those ones. But if you have others, please send it to us and we'll share it on our platform. But please take advantage of these free resources. There is one group called Allison, which is also an online. Yes. A lot of them are there. You can learn, you can take a lot of courses free of charge, and you can get your skills. That is the truth. When we were in school, we were thinking of graduating and taking your certificate to go look for a job. Reginald will tell you, he's an HR person. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. So the certificate, of course, is good. The degrees are good, but that is not the main thing. And so let's shift that mindset and see how we can move on. Is there somebody here who wants to talk? Alicia, I know you joined last year. You're currently in Cote d'Ivoire. Do you want to say something? I know a couple of others here. I don't want to put you on the spot, but we don't want you to just be me and Reginald. We have talked a lot. Reginald has talked a lot. We want to hear from somebody here as well. So Dr. Salah from Ethiopia, if you can hear me, we would also want to hear from you. You work with university students and you have a lot of experience there. But anyone, please, if you're here, you want to say something, you want to share something, please feel free. And let's hear from you. We have some few minutes to go back to the main page, and then the program is going to end, but we want to hear from somebody here. Okay.
It's either we are amazing teachers or all we have been saying has been very useless.
Okay, Alicia, yes, please talk.
Yeah, a good evening to you all, and thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed the sessions, and I knew MeetMentors for, I think, for more than 2 years now. I think so.
Yeah.
And concerning the strategic relationship, where by by the means of other people you can get good opportunities. I want to share something too. This was when I was doing my MSc. I was completed and I was looking for an internship, and because of the relationship I had with my lecturer, I was able to secure an internship with a company where he was a consultant. And by that time, we were really looking for one because I was a foreigner in the country, and it was not easy for some of us to get an internship. And it was during the COVID season, so it was really difficult. And I think because he really had good impression on me, so he recommended me to the company, and I was able to do my internship there. It was really how can I put it, really beneficial for me for my CV. Now to come back on what Mr. Reginald said about getting the skills, we can take courses on some websites free and get the skills and all that. And the my worries here is, yeah, getting the skills, but mostly employers will look at the experience. And I went through how do you call it, interview sessions, about 3 sessions. Master's degree, but I had a bachelor's degree, and I got like almost 2 years experience, internship and full-time job too. But they didn't take me not because I had the skills or had certifications, but because I didn't have experience. They told me because I didn't have experience. Now, how to get experience if sometimes they don't even give us the chance to even get the internship that we want to have? It's really difficult sometimes. Sometimes you go through because I went. You have Coursera, you have Microsoft Learn, you have Udemy, all those courses. Sometimes you even take your $10 to pay a course, because it's on a discount. You take a course, you have the skills. Sometimes you put it, because sometimes too you take the course, but you need a certain environment to apply what you are learning. And when they don't give you the opportunity to apply those skills, it's really difficult. So how do we go about it?
Okay, Reginald, I'll leave that for you. Thank you very much, Elisa.
Okay.
And then there's another question in the chat box, so maybe you can put that together. When they ask him for 10 years experience, deal with that, Mr. HR.
Okay, so every role that we are recruiting has a certain expectation of who can handle it. But one other truth also is that every business has what we call the entry jobs that mostly requires no experience. For where I work, one way that we have, so at a certain mid-level, you hardly see us recruiting people at entry level or mid-level, because we have a recruitment plan and a succession plan that is fed by a certain kind of pipeline. Unless there's a vacancy at senior level or management level where it requires somebody with certain depth in the industry to come in. But I cannot speak for every business and their recruitment strategy and how they feed their business with talent. But this is what I can say. It is better to be prepared when the opportunity comes than to be unprepared when the opportunity comes. the point is that it is difficult, I know, and I will not sit here and pretend that things are not difficult, especially when you are trying to break into a certain business, and it's quite difficult. But my advice and encouragement is that, yes, it's good we are taking those courses, and keep knocking on doors and keep targeting businesses that you think will need those skill set that you have acquired. Look, sometimes job seekers need to understand something. So let me break down. Maybe this will explain to you why some people apply for jobs and never get response or are never called into the space. Everything is driven by technology these days. Forgive, that's my doorbell. I think I have a guest. Everything is driven by technology these days, including hiring that we do. Okay, so with the lady who asked the first question, the simple answer I have is this: it is better for you to have the skill set, to have the training that are relevant for the job that you are seeking for, and keep knocking and keep sending through, for looking for opportunities. Sometimes what people don't understand is that businesses don't just recruit. We recruit when there is the opportunity to fill a role. And so you may have sent your CV there. It doesn't mean that the person who is already there should be taken off and you brought on. It doesn't work like that. When it comes to experience and you are a new graduate, how do we expect you to get experience when we are not given the opportunity? Businesses, based on their recruitment strategies, like mine, where I actually go out there, collaborate with universities, and get recommendations from universities for their best of their best. They come for interview and I select the best to fill minimum of 10 roles every year, minimum 10 roles every year in the organization in Ghana here. You cannot reasonably say that I'm not giving opportunity to younger talent. I'm giving opportunity to younger talent, but that same opportunity, if there's a, for instance, if I'm recruiting for a creative director, you don't expect that I'll just bring in someone who have just finished a course in creative direction and hasn't even worked on a single project before, because it's a senior role that requires a certain depth and knowledge in the industry, which only comes in a matter of time. You want to gradually seek for the entry jobs within that industry that you want to work within, and then over time, you will get this valuable experience that has been thrown at you. I had a meeting with in Ghana. We have people called the national service, people who do their national service. When you complete university, you are required to do, and you can either do it with a private company or do it with the government. The government will post you somewhere. But for those that did this with us, I had a meeting with them, and a similar question came that we know that companies always ask for experience and all that. And I told them that, look, that 1 year that you spent with us, if you committed yourself and you've learned what you are required and the training that we planned for you and you have been able to complete them, you have everything we need to be able to employ you. We have everything we need. Of course, the currency of the job market is experience, but there's also entry jobs that the business does not require someone with an experience to do it. The business does not require someone who has worked. I mean, you don't require someone with a 5-year experience to come and start doing a job that an NSP or an intern can manage, or even a new entry person can manage. The role, that experienced person that you're even bringing in, the money attached to that role cannot, adequately remunerate the person. And so be rest assured, there are entry jobs within organizations. At least I can speak for where I work, and me being the person that manages that space, I can speak in regarding to it. And so what I would say to that question, that have the experience, take those courses and keep knocking at doors, and the opportunity will come. What will be unfortunate is if you do not take those courses and then you have the opportunity to interview and they are the same thing that are being demanded even for the entry job, then there's a problem. Then you realize that you have not done yourself well. Seneca, a philosopher, once said that it is when preparation meets opportunity, then people call it luck. You want to prepare, and as you wait, take the baby steps and do all the necessary things so that when the opportunity presents itself, and believe me, opportunity will present itself one day or the other. And so be encouraged, don't give up, be tenacious in your effort, and always maintain a high spirit. The opportunity will come, and if you have gotten yourself the right skill set and expose yourself to the right knowledge, the companies, they need you more than you need the job. Because if their client or the service they are providing requires someone with that skills, believe you me, they need you more than you need them. And so when the opportunity comes and you have the opportunity, you will excel, and the company will not regret that this is a failed recruitment. George, you mentioned there's another question in the chat. Can we find these 5 relationships in one person?
Yes.
Or we need 5 different people to fit these relationships? Mr. Reginald talked about, okay, so I get a question. Now, if you listen to what I said, at some point I said that person who's a competitor could actually also be the partner that you are looking at for each other. When it comes to the mentor, definitely you can't have your mentor also being a competitor. At some point, there will be a clash, and one person could play the dual role. Your mentor can also be your mentee. Your mentor cannot be your competitor. So definitely you will need to have different people that you have intentionally allowed to come into your life to play these roles, or you playing these roles in their lives. And so, yes, you may need different people, but for some of them, they come together at some point. For instance, the competitor and the partner, you could have one person playing that role, as long as both of you understand what that relationship you have is, and if you do it well, the benefit both of you stand to inure. And so that's the bit of the answer to that. For some, it's not possible for you to have one person. You can't have me as your mentor and also have me as your mentee or your competitor, but I can be your mentor and still be your sponsor. I can mentor you, and the relationship will go to the next level where I also qualify, or I've known you well enough to be your sponsor. So that is the bit that I can say.
Oh, okay, thank you. The time is up, so we're going back to the main room just to conclude everything. Thank you everyone here for coming to this group, for sharing, and thank you, Reginald.
Thank you, George.
Yeah.
Bring to the table worth contributing, and
Yeah.
it's, you have to be willing to also risk sharing your thoughts, your full ideas, because sometimes you might not be so sure that this is actually the response that people are expecting, but you have to take that courage and risk it. And once you have those 2 elements, is also about, obviously, the skill in terms of communication itself, which we are all trying to master. Unfortunately, I'm not yet great at it. But and I think also the more passion there is in terms of what you're sharing, the more people are keen, or they are keen to listen, because they see where you're coming from, and you can easily touch them and get to the heart of what you want to communicate in terms of ideas. So
yes, it's the persuasive communication. It's yeah. I teach communication, so yeah.
How dare I answer that question?
See, we're definitely, which is why I asked you, because it's like, okay, whatever you were saying was directly what I'm trying to teach my students. So it was like right there. Yeah.
Well, that's experience, because I have had to kind of find my way somehow.
Well, George is back, and I think others are finding their way back too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our session was so great. We were just enjoying. Anyway, so I think we have almost everyone here. We definitely had network issues, but so our time is up. It's been an exciting 3 hours, as usual. Okay, somebody's coming here. Network issues, you're getting me. So I'm putting here in the chat box for those who want to know more about MeetMentors. You can connect with us there. There is a last survey to be done. I know some of you joining from especially East Africa. It's late there. Mary, thank you so much for joining. I don't know what the time in Zambia now, but I know it's a bit late, so we don't want to keep you for long. But Angie, could you please share the last link to this the survey for us? And Dr. Sala, I've been trying to get you. You were not there. Can you just give us a wave? 9:03 in Zambia. What is the time in Ethiopia? Dr. Sala, what is the time there now? I know it's pretty late. I don't want to do my calculation. So Angie, if you could please put the last, okay. A quick survey, please. Let's get that done. And then let's just finish it up here.
Yes. 2 questions. So it should be boom, boom.
Yeah, just 2 questions there. Yeah, so how do we end it? It's so exciting. Dr. Sala, are you there? You tapped in something. Okay.
I see here.
It's one about
he's here.
Okay. Is there? I can see it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So Angela, when you came back, I realized you were sharing from your group. Is that correct? You were sharing, right?
Yes, Olivia gave us really, really great pointers with her journey and some experience, and mostly general tips about how to be a little bit more confident, how to build our confidence, how to be a little bit more assertive, opportunities, pick up on opportunities, and all of that, which was really good conversation that we had before. So
good.
We're just kind of wrapping up all of that, but yes.
It was my first conversation with Olivia. We talked about that, how sometimes Africans, especially when we move out of the continent or when we are competing on international front, we have the skills, we have but sometimes how to, I don't want to use the word sell ourselves, but how to present ourselves, it's a problem, and it is something that maybe we can revisit and nail it down next time. But be who you are and just talk about what you have. It's yours. That's what God gave you, and so you don't feel shy. Not talking about that doesn't mean you are being humble. Actually, you can lose opportunities. So look to them. Okay, so I guess we are done with the surveys. As we conclude, I think we want to say once again, thank you very much for hanging out with us here for these couple of hours. Next year, 2022, I don't want to jump into it because Christmas is just around the corner, but this is our major program before the end of the year. We have exciting programs coming. The team is still, talking and brainstorming and working on bringing some innovative mentoring programs in the new year. And so we would encourage you to connect with us on our social media platforms, MeetMentors, Facebook, you can find us there. Desmond, if you can share them in the link as you do. You can also subscribe. I put in the link there so that you get, our updates, our blog posts. We will be bringing you some new programs. Our Explore program definitely is going to stay because that has been very wonderful. But as I said, we're going to be bringing you some new and innovative programs. So please stay with us. LinkedIn, Facebook, we will be working on our Instagram accounts, and you can connect with us there. But stay with us. Our email address, info@meetmentors.org, always works, and we'll be very glad to hear from you. One last thing is we want to get some success stories from this. And I know you did a bit of that in the last survey, but if you can send us what you learned from today's program, you would like to show that, to those who couldn't come. So you have our email address there, info@meetmentors.com. Please connect with us. There was a WhatsApp platform that was created also for the registrations. And so Desmond is going to be connecting with you on that. Please share with us what you've learned. Give us your success stories. We want to let people know what they missed so that next time they will not miss it. But I think on that note, we want to say a very big thank you to, we are left with a second survey. Didn't we do the second survey?
The link is here, and I think, yeah, some would have done it by now.
Okay, so if you have not done it, please take time and do that. Mr. Reginald mentioned some free online courses. So somebody is asking if you can get some of the websites to some of the free online courses. That one, Angie can give us all of them. She's a professor, so she does that. But Reginald is also going to give us some. So please, we're going to share this on our social media platforms. There are a lot there. We're going to share this. So follow us on Facebook. We will get the links to you. Yeah, if you have any questions, please connect with us again from there. But we will make sure we share that link with you. So what I was saying is thank you very much to, we know James is gone, but thank you very much to him. He gave a very short and very impactful delivery. Olivia, thank you so much. My first conversation with Olivia was like, you'll be speaking for us this year. So thank you for accepting to join us. Thank you, Reginald, a longtime friend. We share the same room together in university, so we've known ourselves for a very long time. And we've still connected. Talking about partners and all that, he's one of those people. So thank you very much, Reginald, for coming to share your insights. And for our team, Dr. Angela for moderating for us, Desmond for doing a lot of the legwork, putting the program together. Tina, as I said, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Dr. Vumega could not join us because it's too late for him in Australia. Our designer was here, Aram. I can't see him now. Desmond, is Aram gone? Okay, he was there, but I thought he was going to stay.
Aram is still here.
I can see him.
Aram is still around.
Aram, if you are here, please just give us a wave. I can see you. Maybe my screen is too small, but he just finished his exam a couple of days ago, but he did all the designs and everything for us. So we are very grateful. And of course, the other mentors who joined us and left or could not join us, it's a team work here. It is not about one single person. So we want to say a very big thank you. And then the biggest to you for joining us from far and near. We really appreciate what you've done. And so we're going to share this recording on our YouTube page. You can get it and let you know as well on our Facebook when the link is shared. You can invite your friends to watch it as well. So on that note, we say thank you. It's hard for me to conclude programs. Angie, I give it back to you. Because I just love to connect. I just love to.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to end conversations, especially when it's conversations that you want to continue, conversations that are very relational. So like Joe said, we want to say a very, very, very big thank you for everyone who joined us today, and a very special thank you to our speakers. I mean, being here with us, sharing your experience, just talking through some of the things that you have already done, giving us pointers, just really amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. We hope that as the year continues, we'll be able to link up with some new programs that we're talking about, the Explore, and a few things that we're also exploring, quote unquote, that we'll share with you as well. And then hopefully by this time next year, we'll have our third MentorHackathon. So please start thinking about it and put that on your calendar as well. We'll reach out to you. So on that note, we want to end here. And again, the conversation doesn't end. You have our information. Also follow us on social media and let's talk. I know a few of you are looking for information on how to connect to mentors. So let's continue the conversation. And this is just the starter, right? So we look forward to connecting with everyone. And thank you so much again for being here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a good night. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Enjoy the
Bye.
rest of the day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mary.
You're very welcome. Yeah. And we'll connect with you too on connecting you with a mentor.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
We appreciate this a lot. God bless y'all.
Thank you,
Amen.
Grace.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Grace.
you
You
too.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so if you're not a team member, please exit so that we can just conclude as a team here.
Please exit. I love that.
God bless you too. Okay. Let the slides. Okay. Okay.
Finally,
Woohoo.
we sent them all out.
We made it.
Yes.
Good.
Good job. Oh, good job. Good job. This is good job.
Yeah, as usual, 12. It's one at your end, right, Angie?
Yes, 1:15. I'm hungry. You know, I put my video off at some point to go and get some scones. I was so hungry.
Yeah. Oh, Desmond, how are you? Good job for coordinating most part of this.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, are you still recording? Let me pause.